Hey birds, my name is GlibWings, and today in Life of a Let's Player, because I have not done a Life of a Let's Player in so long, I want to talk to you guys about balance today. So balance, I mean, I'm sure we've all heard about balance, right? We've all heard like, we have to have a balanced life, or we have to, balance things for things to, for things to function or for things to work out, right? Well, today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about that. I want to talk about balance a little bit and basically what the quotes I've heard on it and what it means to me and just what it means in general, right? So, with balance, right? I'm going to start off with a quote, and this actually is a quote from one of my buddies that I really liked a lot. And basically, he said this, right? He said, "Anything in excess is sure to spoil." Think about that for a second. Anything in excess that you have too much of is sure to spoil. Now, what does it mean by spoil? Well, basically, that means that anything that you have too much of is either sure to break down over time, or it's sure to, spoil. So it's like it's not as great anymore. It's not as rewarding anymore. It's just adding on to the pile more and more and more to the point where you don't even care that you have it anymore. It's just like you just want more and more and more, right? But the thing is, it's like, at some point, it's like, you'll have all this stuff and you'll have more and more and more and more. But it's like all that weight eventually gives and it's like it's crushed back down to zero again. Sometimes that can happen, right? When you want more and more and more of something. And then eventually it's like it just crushes under the weight because it's too much. Or, or you could give an example of like, say, some of like the classic examples like eating too much food or overhydration, or just anything in excess is just not a good thing, right? So that's the quote that I want to talk about. Now, what does balance mean to me? Balance to me means that you're grounded enough to where you feel stable enough in your life where nothing is too much of anything and nothing is too little of everything. It's just the right amount. It's that Goldilocks amount, right? So basically, when you have that Goldilocks amount, it's like you're not too plentiful in something and you're not too diminished in something. Everything has its place and it's just the right amount of everything. It's healthy, it's a healthy dynamic is basically what that is, right? So yeah, so that's basically what I want to talk about that. So basically, like I said, balance to me means that everything is enough of everything. That's basically what balance means to me. Now, balance in general. Here's another thing I want to talk about balance. It's something about counterbalance. Now, with counterbalance, right? Counterbalance is basically where if you have too much of one thing, there's always going to be another thing that will push it back into balance. And usually that'll happen, right? It's like you gain too much of one thing, but there's always another counterbalance that will push it back into balance, right? So it's like if you have, for example, it's like, you take like the idea of like balance and good and bad. It's like, you have too much good, you'll have something bad that will push it back into balance. So you'll have your trials, your challenges, or just something bad that happens in general, or just something bad in general that pushes it back into balance. It's that counterbalance. And then you have good that rises up a little bit to overcome that challenge, challenge after challenge after challenge, the story of life basically, right? But yeah, like with balance, it's like I said, with balance comes counterbalance. It's like, if you have too much of one thing, there's always going to be something that will push it back into balance. That's oftentimes why you'll find if you're on cloud nine, there might be something that will push that back into balance by maybe knocking you down a few notches, also known as humbling, humbling a person basically. So that's basically what that means, right? So yeah, I'm actually going to push it out a little further, the camera. Okay, there we go. That's better. But yeah, so anyway, that's kind of like my whole spiel on balance. But yeah, in terms of like anything else, like or like any like finishing thoughts or like anything I would like to say about balance, it's just like I said, balance is one of those finicky things that we are all trying to practice, or that hopefully a lot of us out there we're trying to practice to bring it back in, or to bring everything back into enough of everything. So balance again being having enough of everything and having that be satisfactory. Another thing I want to talk about with balance as well, this will probably be one of my more closing thoughts, is satisfactory. So basically the word satisfactory right there. Balance is usually something where it's like you learn to be not only content with what you have so that you can gain more, but satisfactory also being you're satisfied with what you have. So it's like it's this constant satisfactory of like, you have enough of this, I'm satisfied. I have enough of this, I'm satisfied. I have enough of this, I'm satisfied. You know, it's never wanting too much more, and it's never like wanting to diminish it down to too little. You know, it's like everything has just the right amount, right? So that's basically balance in a nutshell. It's just like it's satisfaction in what you do have, it's contentment with what you have, it's understanding that there's a counterbalance for everything if you have too much of something, and it's understanding that anything in excess is sure to spoil. You know, like that quote I was talking about from one of my buddies. So yeah, I don't know, I just want to talk about this today because, you know, I felt like this is something that I should share, and honestly this is something that's kind of been on my heart to share. Honestly, this has been something I've been wanting to share for a while now. It's just been something I've been thinking about, something that I thought maybe some of you out there would like to hear about it. It's something that I thought, you know, certain people might be able to benefit from if they hear it, and it's something that I thought would be worth talking about, you know. Yeah, I'd like to do more of these. It's just sometimes I need time to think of like a topic to talk about for Life of a Let's Player. But yeah, in terms of like Let's Playing, I would say, you know, that's still something I'm doing currently. Currently I'm actually working on my, I'm doing like a speedrun series, but I might want to do that for like the first 100 videos. As far as Life of a Let's Player, like as in my life, I moved, for one, so, and I might like show you around a little bit. I'm not gonna show you the back because it's kind of messy, but actually, let me go like that. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. It's still a little messy in here, so there's certain parts of the room I don't want to show because it's kind of a disaster right now. But aside from that, though, yeah, I moved, and yeah, I actually got, you know, like better deal on like rent and stuff, so I was pretty happy about that, with rent and whatnot. But yeah, and then also, yeah, I think that's really all I want to talk about for that. So that's kind of a bit of a life update. In terms of like balance in my own life, like where does that lie for me? I guess for me, balance would be like, it would be in like, I guess like balancing out my time. So it's like you know, I use my time for this, I use my time for that, but I do everything in a timely manner where it's like I give a certain amount of time for each thing I do, and I do it more efficiently. That's something that I've kind of been wanting to strive to work on a little bit more, is just using my time a little bit more efficiently, and like balancing time where it's like it's just enough time for this, it's just enough time for that, you know, or like, you know, I give myself a certain window for certain things, or whatever the case may be. But anyway, that's all I want to talk about birds. So I hope you birds have enjoyed this episode, and yeah, if you want to write down any comments about this, go for it, leave them down, and yeah, we'll go from there. So hope birds have enjoyed this, and as always, birds, if you like the video, hit it like a window, play hard, take flight, GlibWings out.